leave, like Malcolm said, we need to leave our gods at home because we all have a common problem. And the common denominator is white supremacy. And that's just where I'm going to leave off at.
Let me read some of these comments before we get to y'all. Chris, you got them?
Yeah, Trudonna Staples, in the last statement, she was saying, in the meantime, Trump appointed hundreds of federal judges ages 35 to 45 for lifetime appointments. Patrick Boy Cole said Malcolm X was the epitome of integrity. What's going on, Tom, Bob? All right, gentlemen, can we piggyback off of that?
When you were saying that, it was just making me like, wow, what if Malcolm could have been around now and you see what Akon doing? You know what I mean? That would be real amazing.
It would be.
So it's like, it really is going on. It's all about how we pull it all together. You know? So it was really, that's what sparked my mind when listening to you say that the most. Really.
I think that Malcolm X was so powerful that in order to perpetuate white supremacy, in order to perpetuate racism, and to keep us separated, Malcolm X had to be killed for that cause, because they wasn't going to be able to continue doing what they was doing if Malcolm X was alive. Even if they killed Martin Luther King, the cause still would have went on. And no disrespect or not to take no credit from Martin Luther King, because he made some moves for us too. But Malcolm X was where it was. And Martin had realized that at the end of his life, when they started to, after he left the Nation of Islam and started this OAAU, him and Martin had talked. And that right there, that was put the cherry on the cake. Because them two right there was a force to be reckoned with. And that scared the hell out of them white folks. That scared the hell out of Elijah Muhammad. And also they had to get rid of him. In the government.
Mostly, divide and conquer. Can't have that.
That's
George, you saying something? Go ahead.
That's my part. The government killed both of them, and we knew this. Of course, they divided us. We killed all the leaders. They made us search for what do you call
Direction.
bad direction. You know what I'm saying? Then we had what? They broke up the families.
Yep.
No parks. No nothing where the raise get the kids right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So losing Malcolm hurt our progression.
I think that losing Malcolm was one of the worst things that happened to us as a group. Losing Malcolm, and I think integrating us with white folks is two of the things that hurted us and hurts us today the most.
Oh man, that's a lot of stuff to cover. When I hear stuff like that, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. But we as a people, we have to stop looking for leaders. Lead your own family. The blueprint has been put down there. Malcolm X was definitely one of them, definitely a Messiah. He was Christ in the way that he did things. When I say Christ, it's going to throw a lot of people off. But Christ wasn't Jesus' last name. Christ meant that you were someone who helped your people uprise from their oppressors. And, prior to him, we had different Christs. You had Harriet Tubman. You had Nat Turner. You had Marcus Garvey. These Marcus Garvey in general, laid the blueprint for a lot of what Dr. John Henrik Clarke stood for. And you mentioned him as part of this consortium that Malcolm X had put together. The elders put together everything we need to do. We just never followed it. If you really want to read something, read the blueprint from Black Power, and the blueprint of Black Power from Dr. Amos Wilson will have everything that you need to know in it. Amos Wilson is from the teachings of Malcolm X. It's from the teachings of Dr. John Henrik Clarke. What we tend to do, each generation wants to feel like they're the ones that found the they're the Morpheus or they're the Neo. The blueprint has been laid out. You know, we got our brother Dr. Claude Anderson, who's our elder at this point, who is on his way out. And I'm not wishing anything bad on him, but he's 86 years old. We need to start listening to these brothers because they're telling us what we need to do. You know, so these people have laid the groundwork. Malcolm has laid the groundwork. The organization you talk about now is 50 years old back in 2014. Was that 6 years ago? So it's 56 years old now. We need to start moving on that. You know what I'm saying? The groundwork has been laid. And like you said, Malcolm and Martin became more Malcolm before he left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Malcolm left before Martin. So Martin tried to take that torch even further. You saw what happened with his last speech. His whole thing was the Poor People's March. Once he said, okay, wait a minute. Let me unite all poor people. We all getting played. Because he said, I feel like I led my people into a burning house.
That's right.
Okay, let me change the course of this. We're the 9th richest nation in the world as far as GDP, gross domestic product. If you're talking about black people and the way we spend, and nothing has changed.
Right.
We're not poor. We just have poor spending habits. And if we understand that the ground we live on is blessed, let me tell you something. It's amazing. You know, when people talk about things, they normally only talk about symptoms and not the causes. You are designed to be excluded from society as far as it comes as an economical power in society. So if you know that, what do? You just reverse that and work the back way. But every time we do that, they make us worship the same things they worship. You know, clothes, money, the whole non-status. But if we realize the neighborhoods that we live in and that we move out of is what they're moving back into, and they're gentrifying and pushing us back out.
Yeah.
So, you know, I fell into that trap by living out here. You know what I'm saying? I need to be in that inner city. What we have to realize is that the government bankrupted our communities on purpose. They built the highway system in order to bankrupt black communities. So when you start realizing that you had a government that was against you, start working against that. Make sure that we change the laws that's on the book. We, as a people, are the most powerful people on this planet. I love when you talked about Akon a few weeks ago when you had Akon City. He built a city, he built an airport, he's doing everything, brought power to millions of people. You know, the power structure doesn't want to see that because that brings people independence. But that's our key. So we as a group, we need to get together and start investing back in Africa, whether they want us there or not. I'm tired of saying, oh, well, they don't want us there. Nobody wants us anywhere. You go in, this is might. Money is might. You know, education is might. That's our power.
But from my understanding, they want us there.
I know they want us there. But see, you know, I'm just talking about to the people that, you know, negative people have a problem for every solution.
They do.
So we have to start being the beacon. We can't sit here and say we need to unite and we're not giving them anything to unite for.
Exactly.
People are bandwagoneers. We need to make them want to jump on the bandwagon. Let's start